What is going on, everybody? Chris Culbertson here. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you today, but rest assured, everything is fine. I'm just going in to see the dentist. So, what I wanted to do is take a quick moment to show you all of the things that you're going to need to work on in class today. So, I'm showing you second hour science right now, and in second hour science, I have posted a trifold project template. Now, you should take some time in the morning to go check out the different projects that are set around the classroom so that you can look at past examples of what 8th graders, 7th graders, and 6th graders have turned in for the science program that would ultimately be a strong example of what you could do for your project. Take note of what those students are doing in those projects that are going to help them have conversations and present their work to show what they've learned about different things. So that includes nice big lettering, bold lettering for titles. It includes headers that are very clear that show you exactly what each piece of the project is about. It involves the different images or the different diagrams that you could use to show what you know. So for our class today, what I've done is I've loaded a trifold project template. This was actually created by a student because many times when I'm teaching, it's my first try and I have a vision for it, but it's so much more helpful for me when I see how a student is thinking about what they need to do. So if I'm in second hour science or third hour science, fourth hour science, you'll click classwork, you'll go down to class materials, and you'll look for the trifold project template. When you look at that, there's a little bit of instruction here that you can use this guide to help your thinking of how you're going to set up a trifold board for your presentation. In class, you should start thinking about what you're going to be able to bring in to show what you've learned about simple machines. Now, not everybody is going to be able to bring in what they need to show for their project. And so they have to think through, how are you going to bring in things that you've set up at home that you won't be able to physically bring into school? So you'll need to think about videos, photos, and also how you're going to be able to talk through your presentation when you don't have those things in front of you. So one thing that is very helpful for me is a trifold board. Let me show you what this student has created. When I open up the trifold board here, you can see that it's broken down into different sections. And what this student did, this is an 8th grade example, they laid out every piece that you need to have in your project. They have the introduction piece, a spot for their plan or how they were going to attack their project. They have a spot for the question that they're asking for their project, their hypothesis, to talk about the hypothesis of their project, a space in the middle here for the variables. There's going to be a space for the trials with a description of those trials and what they're looking for and what they're trying to measure. They imagined having a table with their data set right here in the middle. And then at the very bottom, they have a space that is empty for their Chromebook screen. Now, this space down here is really important for those of you who will need to bring in photos or videos of your work, but keep in mind that you can do as much of this on Canva or on slides or in a Google Doc as you want. But if everything is living on your Chromebook screen, it gets really small and sometimes it's very difficult to see. So what I encourage you to do is build these pieces in Canva, in Google Slides, in Google Docs, and then you're going to put them on a board so that you can have all your information present, and the only thing that needs to be on your computer are the videos or the photos that you're trying to show your audience. There's also going to be an important piece here for looking at your data for analysis and ultimately your conclusion. What did you learn throughout this project? There is an extra spot here that this 8th grader is going to start thinking about how you could do their project at home or how you could learn from their project and go try it for yourself. I really like this piece because it pushes you towards that exceeds mark of not only doing a project for yourself, but doing a project for others, the community, or beyond. Now, one important piece of this is, I was saying, you can build these in Canva. These are all basically puzzle pieces that you can plug in here. What I don't want you to do is go to your project proposal and just use that sheet. That sheet is really me trying to guide your thinking, and not everybody used it either, but everybody should have a question that they are investigating. So what I want you to do then is you can use your project proposal as a guide, but only lift out what you need. In this case, I only need my question. So I'll take my question, I could even copy and paste it, And I can build another Canva or another Google Slides where I'm going to start organizing all of my thoughts in a way that I would take this, print it, and put it on my trifold board in the My Question area. Now I'd have to make one for my introduction and my plan as well, but I have one here for my hypothesis. So my hypothesis here would be, if I use a leaf blower to propel a skateboard while I hold an umbrella, then I will go at least 5 feet because the air from the leaf blower is propelling me forward. So this is something that I could print and put into my hypothesis area. And that way, when I'm showing the video of me on a skateboard being blown around by a leaf blower, that can be on my computer, but all of the other information is on my trifold board. Here is an example of another one of the 8th graders from, I believe it was second hour, that took this idea and used the trifold method of saying, okay, if I'm going to put all my information on the trifold so that I can talk through it, I also am going to bring in what I built. So this person doesn't have a video, doesn't have photos, but is going to be able to bring in the model that they created. And so for their model, what they can do is they will come in here and obviously have a really nice title, Simple Machine Candy Launcher. They added areas for their introduction where they're going to talk about and introduce their project. They have written out their plan for how they were going to conduct this experiment. They also have an area for their question, and you can see that they're having some fun with it. That is fine, but this is front and center, your question. Then they have added their hypothesis, and the last thing they were working on were their variables. So they'll take all these pieces and they can print them and organize their board in a way that makes sense to them so that they can turn in their work with all their information plus the project that they've brought in, the physical project. And if you can't bring in your physical project, you'll, like I said, you'll bring in those photos and those videos. So that is the job today. While you're in class, you're going to be working on that. If you have any questions, please email me. Most of you should be to the data collection testing phase I gave you last weekend to build your projects. Now you should take data and get evidence from your projects. You can build those data sheets and put them, again, into your project. Write them out, make them look nice. On my first trial, I went 2 feet. What power setting did I use? On my second trial, I went 3 feet. What power setting did I use? That will go into your trifold board as well. So laying it all out like this, you can lift out the pieces from your project proposal and from your trials and build a very, very strong, complete project that you'll be able to turn in and hopefully get that meets, if not exceeds. All right. So good luck today. I hope if you have any questions, please email me. I wish I was there to explain it even better. See ya.